Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a look at 5 really pivotal Indian legal cases.
Yeah, cases that have genuinely reshaped, the legal and social fabric of India.
Exactly. We'll be unpacking Kesavananda Paradi, Maneka Gandhi, Shreya Singhal, Vishaka, and Navtej Singh Johar.
The goal is really to get under the skin of why these specific cases matter so much.
And understand their lasting impact. Think of it as getting to the core of some major shifts in Indian law pretty quickly.
Precisely. These aren't just names in a law book. They have real-world consequences even now. Each one marks a moment where the judiciary really clarified or sometimes expanded our rights.
Okay, let's kick things off then. Back to 1973, Kesavananda Paradi versus the state of Kerala.
Ah, the big one. The basic structure doctrine.
Right, and what's interesting is it started with a challenge to land reform laws in Kerala.
Mm-hmm. But the Supreme Court's ruling went much further.
They essentially said Parliament can amend the Constitution, that's fine, but...
But, and it's a big but, it cannot change its fundamental core. Things like democracy, secularism, judicial review, the basic structure.
So it acts as a vital check.
Absolutely. It prevents amendments from completely undermining the Constitution's core identity. It ensures that foundational principles remain protected. A real safeguard.
Got it. Okay, let's move to 1978. Maneka Gandhi v. Union of India. This was all about Article 21, right? The right to life and personal liberty.
Yes, and this case really expanded what that means. It wasn't just about, basic survival anymore.
The court said life includes the right to live with dignity.
Exactly. And critically, it established that any law restricting personal liberty has to be fair, just, and reasonable. Procedure matters.
And this all stemmed from her passport being impounded. Without much of a hearing, apparently.
Precisely. It massively strengthened procedural due process. The government can't just arbitrarily restrict your liberty. There have to be fair steps involved. You need a chance to be heard.
So a passport issue led to this huge strengthening of fundamental rights. Amazing.
It really shows how individual cases can set broad precedents.
Okay, fast forward quite a bit now. 2015, the digital age. Shreya Singhal v. Union of India.
Right, Section 66A of the IT Act.
This dealt with online free speech, didn't it? Section 66A allowed arrests for offensive online content.
Yes, and offensive is incredibly vague. It was being misused, leading to arrests for fairly trivial posts sometimes.
So the Supreme Court stepped in?
They did. They struck down Section 66A, finding it violated Article 19, freedom of speech and expression. They emphasized that free speech applies online, too.
A landmark ruling for internet freedom, definitely. It set a clear line.
Hugely important for protecting online expression from, arbitrary restrictions.
Okay, next up. Vishaka v. State of Rajasthan, 1997. This one feels a bit different. The court essentially created law.
In a way, yes. It's a powerful example of judicial activism filling a legislative vacuum. There was no specific law on workplace sexual harassment at the time.
And it arose from a really terrible case.
A horrific gang rape case, yes. The Supreme Court, responding to that, laid down the Vishaka Guidelines.
Which mandated employers do what, exactly?
They required employers to create a safe working environment for women, setting up complaints committees, outlining procedures, basically proactive prevention and redressal mechanisms.
And these guidelines were law.
They were binding. It was a significant step for women's rights and workplace safety, and actually influenced international standards, too.
And eventually led to the 2013 Act.
Exactly. The formal legislation built upon the foundation laid by the court in Vishaka.
Right. And finally, let's talk about Navtej Singh Johar v. Union of India from 2018.
A truly historic decision, decriminalizing consensual same-sex relationships.
This involves striking down parts of Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code.
Correct. The court found that criminalizing private consensual acts between adults of the same sex violated fundamental rights.
Which rights, specifically?
Article 14, equality before the law. Article 15, protection against discrimination. And Article 21, again, the right to life, liberty, privacy, and importantly, dignity.
A massive victory for LGBTQ+ rights and inclusivity in India.
Undeniably, it marked a major shift towards recognizing equality and individual autonomy for all citizens, regardless of sexual orientation.
So looking back at all 5, Kesavananda, Maneka Gandhi, Shreya Singhal, Vishaka, Navtej Singh Johar, What's the connecting thread here?
I think it's the dynamism. It shows the Constitution isn't static, it's a living document.
And the judiciary's role is crucial in interpreting it for changing times.
Absolutely. These cases show the court stepping in to protect fundamental rights, balance powers, and adapt timeless principles to new challenges, whether it's technology or evolving social norms. They safeguard the Constitution's relevance.
It really underlines how interpretations of rights evolve. These milestones have profoundly shaped the India you see today.
No doubt about it.
It leaves you wondering, doesn't it? What societal changes happening now might spark the next wave of landmark cases? What rights might need redefining in the future? Definitely food for thought.
A question worth pondering.
Thanks for walking us through these crucial cases. That was a really insightful deep dive.